Hello everyone and welcome back. So this time we're going to be learning about string variables in Python. So first off, what is a string? What am I talking about? String, like we're tying something up? No, string is text. It's a string of characters, a long line of characters. What is a character? It's anything you can type on your keyboard. The way that Python knows if something is a string is we put it in quotes. So double quote right there tells it it's a string. Single quote right here says that's a string. Now, like, wait a second, what if I need an apostrophe? You can put a single quote inside of a double quote if you want to, but not reverse. You can't put a double quote inside of a single quote. Use that to your advantage. Remember that. Now, what do you use strings for in Python? A lot of times they're just kind of like tags that help you figure out what you're supposed to do. For example, maybe it would be, what is your role in the company? Are you a teacher? Are you a student? Well, if you're a student, you have various access levels. If you're a teacher, you have more access, and if you're the admin, you get access to everything. And so maybe your role will be stored as a string. In this case right here, I say, like, well, what's your name? And your name is Gandalf, okay? And we have a little code and it checks and says, okay, if your name is equal to Gandalf, this means actually equal to, not setting it equal to, then print you shall not pass. And this will run because your name's Gandalf. However, if your name was Gollum, it would have said my precious, but your name is Gandalf, so only this would happen. Okay, so this is kind of how Python goes, and you're like, wait a second, what is this whole if thing here? We haven't gotten there yet. We'll get there in a little while. So first off, let's do an example. We're going to set a variable. It's going to be called first name. We're going to set its value to Chad. And its last name, we're going to set its value to You Betcha. Okay, so let's try this out and see what happens. First name equals Chad. Okay. Last name equals You Betcha. Okay. No spaces in my name, just underscores. I have an equal sign in double quotes. I could have done it in single quotes. I just do it double quotes because that's typically better practice. And I hit run. And Chad, you betcha, and %s Chad, you betcha. Something went terribly wrong. And what went terribly wrong? I accidentally forgot to put that % sign. There we go. Everybody makes mistakes. So, with that, we have it printing out Chad, you betcha twice. I've been wondering, what was that craziness at the end that you had to fix? That's kind of scary. Don't worry about it. This is important. This is going to be helpful. But we haven't quite gotten to figure out what this stuff is here. But I'm not going to leave you hanging like I did with the assert statements. We're going to go through these just one at a time. So first off, we're going to talk about concatenating strings. That's a very fancy name for just sticking two strings together into one. You do this a lot when you have messages. You want to have different messages for each person. Or let's say that you have a variable, like you want to have, be able to insert somebody's name into the message. We might say, well, hi there, name. How are you doing today? And then you change the name and it says, hi there, John, or hi there, Sally, whatever. So in this case right here, we can concatenate a string. We just use the plus sign. Python knows what we're doing. We're adding these two strings together. And so the first half is who lives in a pineapple under the sea. And we have two possible second halves. First one is SpongeBob SquarePants, and the second half alternate is no one. So if I add them together, it'll say who lives in a pineapple under the sea, and it'll say SpongeBob SquarePants. Works out good. And the second one will say who lives in a pineapple under the sea? No one. One thing to be very careful about is these little spaces right here. Python doesn't know to add spaces unless you tell it to. So you have to add those spaces if you want there to be a space. It won't add it automatically. Okay. Keep on moving on. So now we're going to take all these names right here. We're going to add them together. I want to make variables called full name with some number. See, there's 1s, 2s, and 3s, so it'll be full name 1, full name 2, full name 3. I'm going to add them together. So it prints out each full name. However, remember, I have to add that space in, otherwise it won't work. So let's try it out. Print, okay. Actually, I'll set the variable first. Full name, 1, is going to be equal to first name 1 plus, I need to add a little space, last name 1. Okay, that works. Print full name 1. Now I'll run that and see how it works. Drew Barrymore. I'm certain that's how she spells her name. Okay, so with this, you get to see how we can add these strings together. And remember that you have to add spaces. You're probably wondering, is there any way to get around that? Well, let's try some things. Just real quick, this isn't actually in the lesson, but let's try that. Whoops! I forgot that I didn't use right name else. That was first name 1 and last name 1. Anaconda always remembers the variables from the previous examples. Drew Barrymore. So you can also just add a comma. If you're just printing it out, it will know what you mean. It'll put a space in there for you. So there are ways to get around it. But if you're building one big string, it's probably best practice to remember to add in these spaces. Or to use the thing we're going to learn about next time, which is the % operator. Okay, so this time we learned about strings. We learned that they're text. They're always in quotes. And that if you want a space, you got to put a space. So hopefully this helps you. And I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.